Friday, December 19th, 2025, and probably my last walk of the year, or certainly before Christmas. Reason being, we've got a cracking day today, not a cloud in the sky. There is a chill breeze, mind, so we've got a temperature of around 7 degrees at the moment, but very pleasant for walking. It's now 11 AM. I've got till 1600 to complete these 10 miles of swcwalk404, which, as you notice there, is from Stewartby up near Bedford. And this area has been in the news this week because of the arrival of Universal Studios, something which doesn't enamour me massively, to be honest, because it's going to be built on a former brickworks, which is ideal for putting solar panels, which shouldn't be in cereal fields for our own food subsistence, really. It's outrageous. But anyway, it's going to bring massive environmental issues to this area, traffic, houses, etc, etc. It'll bring a few jobs, but that's not the point. It's very selfish of man to deprive nature, and it's just another example of concreting over the country, which, as I've said in the past, seems to be going on unchecked at the moment. Outrageous. Anyway, this is the station, Stewartby, that will be the alighting point for said Universal Studios theme park in around 5 years' time or so, I believe. And this is the east-west rail link as well. So very different in the future to what it is at the moment, which is why partly why I'm here today. Grab a last view of the landscape before it changes irreparably. I've done a number of walks up here previously, as regular viewers will know, for North Arts Ramblers. So let's see, I'm pretty sure we'll be repeating some terrain today. I'm doing a shortened version of the walk simply because of daylight hours. I mean, it's a 12-mile walk officially, going to Ridgmont, which is over near Woburn. But yeah, I'm almost certain I'm going to repeat some scenery from previous walks. But let's crack on. Like I say, I've got about 4 3/4 hours now, it now being 11:15. So a finger out. My train was full of teenagers and I wondered why. Now I know the answer. Kimberley Sixth Form College is 5 minutes from this station, but luckily we don't pass it. Just make out Stewartby Lake in the distance. We had a day of rain yesterday, which has clearly left its mark this morning, and I am expecting some issues with water, probably on the shortcut crossing the fields. Let's see. On their own like that, they don't look too bad. That one powers around 1,000 homes, so I read. Been up about a decade, 12 years. For me, this is how a brownfield site should be left to Mother Nature. She'll slowly take it over and nature will return. Instead of that, we're ruining the ruddy world. Right. Takes the nature reserve path through this kissing gate, passing the turbine, which is still today despite the 26-mile-an-hour breeze from time to time. Come out to this view of the lake. All man-made, this. Good job though. Still following decent cinder paths. You can see the water level here is quite high as I'm stood on this footbridge, but I did check the flood levels on the Saturday Walkers Club site. No flooding in this area expected today, just remnants of what we had yesterday, I think, last night. That flows out into the lake on my right. Plenty of berries around, as I expected. and field fares as well to go with them. Muckier lakeside, but you could stay on the main path if you've got a map or OS map app to avoid this. I'm just following the route religiously at the moment, GPS track that is. Plenty of great crested grebes and cormorants on the lake today. Ducks of a certain variety I'm not sure of. Moving away from the lake now as we approach Holcot, and I can hear traffic in the distance and see houses looming. Yeah, so you come back out onto this main track, which you could stay on, avoiding the nature reserve section, lakeside, to avoid the mud if you so wish. Now joining Jubilee Walk cycle track. Passing some playing fields next to the A421, which we cross somehow shortly. And this is still Jubilee Walk. Answer is a foot tunnel in the footpath between house numbers 119 and 21. I now leave Lower Sheldon, so aiming towards the pylons ahead of me there. This field isn't ploughed today, but it is remarkably sodden and muddy underfoot. To Lower Shelton and the wind turbine, which must be turned off because it's still not moving, and there is quite a breeze. Goes a deer of some kind. I think it's a small roe deer, certainly not a muntjac. It's got those big ears again. I always get roe and fallow mixed up. Okay, this is my shortcut today, which is marked. You can see it on the ground thanks to the mud. People have trodden in the path. If you continue straight on, that's the full main walk, a 12-miler, which takes you up to that farm, Ashbrook Farm I think it's called, on the horizon. But as I say, I haven't got time today. Not even sure I've got time for these 10 miles the way I'm going, but let's see. Yeah, and as I anticipated, quite slippy underfoot now. Could have been worse though. The path is still evident underfoot as I head towards another transmission wire run. These little footbridges over dikes now, and I notice the farmers are increasingly using these dikes, which is good, because a few years ago they weren't, but they clearly have learnt the lessons of flooding. In fact, that path that I didn't take for the main walk takes you to Ashbrook Farm, not Ambrose as I think I said. Path hasn't been reinstated in this field, but I'm following the GPX track anyway, straight across to another footbridge, all being well. Back across Marston Vale from a point near Lower Roxhill Farm. Go through this gap in the hedge to cross a busy road I can hear. So as you can see, quite tricky to get out of that gap, and the traffic is pretty busy. And if you're coming from the extension to the walk, or the main walk rather, you will be walking along this road by the looks of things. Indeed you will. So that needs to be taken into account, because as you can see, it's a pretty busy road. So I'm stood at a point near Hill Farm on the map, around 225 foot up. The high point on this walk today is 385 by the way. Starts at around 115. And there we have Cardington, the air hangers. Views back whence I've come, It's going to be so different in the future, eh? Ferris wheels and God knows what. Skyline will be so transformed. I'm no Luddite, but we're just ruining the countryside, you know. Wonderful. Looks like this farmer has decided to grow an orchard. Brilliant. And over there, let's have a look, see what that is. Fenced off. I'm not sure what that is. Could be vines. Sign of the times as well. Nice sunny. Which way is it facing? Difficult to gauge my directions there. Anyway, the sun's in front of me, so could be southerly facing. Yeah, and as you can see there, we're still following Jubilee Walk. Now walking alongside woodland known as Marston Thrift, and then on to Rectory Wood. And as you can see from this dyke, water levels are pretty much replenished, I would say now, from the low levels of the summer. But it's still not too bad underfoot, all being said. Certainly not as bad as last winter. Kissing Gate on the left here and go into Marston Thrift now, which as you can see is an SSI, albeit they've been renamed now for some stupid reason. I haven't seen a bullfinch for years, must be a decade. Such rare birds. I've forgotten what they sound like as well. Anyway, I'd love to see one today, so fingers crossed. Path to the right, as opposed to continuing straight on. Wonderful section of walking this. Mixed woodland, ancient stuff as well. A few biplanes obviously from nearby Cranfield airfield. Marston Thrift. Now heading into Rectory Wood. This is a section I've walked before. Can't remember which walk, but it was a North Arts Ramblers one. Into the Woodland Trust's Rectory Wood. One very tempting picnic table there, particularly as I've been to Cranfield Church previously. Might skip that today, not sure yet. Back on good paths again after the slippy section through the drift, Marston Thrift. Ascending up this lane towards a place called Tartlet. Woodland on my left. There is a track through that woodland per the map that gets you to the same place, interestingly, if you prefer, like me, the wooded version. But I'm sticking to the GPX track at the moment. So I've just gone up past one, Cranfield Church, around about, well, just over 5 mile in, so halfway, I believe. So I'll grab that pew because I can't see any others. St Peter and St Paul's Church, Cranfield. Let's see who's dedicated it to us. Oh, that's unusual. No one in particular. The Friends of the Church. Frank Thomas Churchill. Oh, there you go. Good man. God rest your soul. Merry Christmas. Lunch is served. 2:05, lunch has been had. I'm not going into church today because there's quite a lot of people going in and out, practicing for Christmas no doubt. So yeah, we'll skip that. Also, I'm conscious of time, just 2 hours to do the remaining 5 miles. Under normal circumstances is doable, and we are following a cycle track, I believe, so should be able to do it. Fingers crossed. There is a pub alternative here, the recommended lunchtime pub, but I won't be passing it, I don't believe. I was on the John Bunyan trail there for a short period, but we come off that to go over the first stile of the day. Decent view here from around 375 feet, so we're almost at the high point of the walk, and I'd imagine the church does represent that, Cranfield Church, on this walk today. 385 I said earlier, high point. Very rickety bridge here. Pretty sure this is a section of walking I've done before as well. Pleasantly quiet, albeit a cycleway. So as you can see, NCN 51 we're on. Rather interesting terrain. Couple of dubious sections. Now passing Reynolds Wood. Loads of new trees going in here in Reynolds Wood. It's good to see. By contrast, lots of old wood coming down on my right. And there is the timber clearance yard. Now joining the John Bunyan trail. So it seems I could have continued through Reynolds Wood on the track, come out at this same point. There you go, the Bunyan Trail. Walked much of this in my time. Haven't seen many kites today, but there is one. Crossing over the A421, and you can see where I started this morning, over towards that wind turbine. Now looks like I'm on an old railway bed. Sure what that is on the left, some kind of large factory unit by the looks of it. Residential on my right now as we enter Ridgmont, or more correctly I'm in Brogborough, I think that's how you pronounce it. Passing another wreck. There you go, massive industrial estate I'm walking through at the moment to finish the walk off. Yeah, I don't think I'll be in there. Let's have a look. It's not 4 o'clock yet. Well, there you go. History of the crossing keepers here. How it contrasts with the modern, eh? Those factories I've just walked past. Wonderful. Just had a little tour of the Heritage Centre. Little run through the history of this line, the Italian connection, the brickworks, etc, etc. Very interesting little rail line this, and yeah, about 2035 before it's officially running as the east-west connection from Oxford to Cambridge, the varsity line that was closed all those years back. So sad, as I continue to say. where those trucks are at the moment apparently used to be a pub, so that would have been a good way to finish the walk. Not anymore though, unfortunately. But with regard to the walk, I've done 9.8 miles, 3 hours 45, and that variant worked out very well. Don't think I'd have particularly fancied traipsing across a few more fields for an extra couple of miles, based on what I've done today, which was quite varied. Obviously starting off with a lakeside walk, then into woods, a few fields, bit of green sand underfoot, and excellent weather. Quite fresh, got up to a lofty 11 degrees. But yeah, very good walk that by Thomas. And I noticed, although I didn't use the notes, first notes of his I've used for a long time, that he's now using sections and numbered paragraphs, which I've always moaned about in the past that he never did. It was difficult to make reference to any issues, but now he's done it. I didn't use them. I used a GPX track, which worked very well, no problems with that, and yeah, it wasn't particularly bad underfoot either. So that's free walk, swcwalk404, Stewartby to Ridgmont completed, and who knows what awaits it in the future. I'm sure the scenery will be very different over the years. Till the next time.